Hello, everybody. Sherri and Melinda here in
Howdy.
Operation Successful Transition podcast. We are here to talk about a market update today. How are you doing, Melinda?
Good. How about you, Sherri?
Doing all right. We've made it back through summer again. School year started up for everybody. Traffic sure is busy here,
Definitely back. Yep.
right? We even had our first game weekend. That was pretty crazy too. So, and unfortunately, I didn't watch, but I heard that they started out all right and they finished off losing the game.
Yeah.
It's really sad, but that seems to happen sometimes with our Aggies. Hopefully they'll get it together for the next game. But anyway, so how have things been going in your world, in loan world
Loan
for the
world
past month?
things kind of slowed down in August. July was pretty busy, and I expected July to be busy because that's even in this weird market, that is when a lot of families need to get moved. They need to get serious about moving and get it done. And I think that we found that to be true. August really slowed down. I think some things happened. When you think about August closings, those contracts are going to be starting in July. Well, we kind of had some momentous things happen in July as far as the presidential election and things like that kind of put everybody in a holding pattern for a minute. And so we kind of saw that ripple on into August. But yeah, I mean, but it's pretty typical. I'd say it's not unexpected.
Yeah. I think, there are cycles of things. In election years, people kind of hold back a little bit until they see what's going to happen. And like with this whole NAR settlement thing, which, we've had since the 17th of August, we've had a couple of weeks now where, the compensation is not on MLS and we're, calling ahead of time. And, some brokerages, I think, are setting up sites where they're showing what the broker compensation is. I'm not doing that. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't done that yet anyway. I'm just kind of getting used to it and seeing what's happening. But, it was all henny penny, the sky is falling and everybody anticipated.
Right. I mean, so you've been out showing homes. Yeah, you've been out showing homes for, a couple weeks. What's your experience so far?
Well, so far, what we're doing is contacting the listing agent before we go show and ask, are they paying buyer's agent compensation? And most of them are paying a certain percentage or even close to that percentage or some part of it at least. So I've not had anybody saying they're not paying any compensation at all. So there's not such a reason for buyers to be so scared anymore of being stuck holding the bag. Anyway, just not yet.
Right.
As far as listings, I've got a couple of listings coming, and this is going to be the change for me where, EXP is not co-brokering, and they've kind of instructed us to say, just put your request with the contract and we'll present it to our seller then. So that's an opportunity for the buyer's agent to negotiate their compensation with the seller. Of course, I'll be here coaching them and letting them know, you're going to cut out a lot of your buyers and shrink the size of your audience for your house if you're not willing to compensate any at all. So I think people are realizing this. Agents are doing a good job of coaching their clients and, talking it through with them so everybody understands. So again, all this stuff in the news, not such a big deal. Remember Y2K, how they worked that up, that, we were going to fall off the edge of the earth and then nothing happened.
All systems will cease to function. And then the next day, everything just went on like the day before.
Right. So the news likes to get everybody all frenzied up, but it's not such a big deal after all. I'm sure you hear more cases that are coming up, but hopefully that'll peter out here before too much longer and they'll just let us go back to doing business. Anyway, so looking at the numbers for Bryan College Station for August of 2024, we see Bryan had a kind of a slow month. In August this year, there were 80 houses sold in Bryan. And in August of last year, there were 116. So that's quite a drop just for that month of August. What we talked about. I had more closings than usual in my world in August, but that was stuff that had happened in June and July. So and then I've got several things that are already under contract that are waiting to close. So my world's been okay. I'm doing pretty good. I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much. Right now we have 466 homes active on the market in Bryan, and that's all the way from condos and fixer-uppers all the way to the mansions. 80 were sold last month. We have 106 transactions pending in Bryan. That means they're somehow under contract, whether it's a contingency, an option contract, or just under contract. There's an average of 86 days on market right now in Bryan. A year ago, it was 100 days on market. So less days on market in Bryan, which is interesting because it seems like it's more days on market everywhere else. But and for them to have a slow month, I'll bet that number switches around next month as things have sat through the month of August. There's about 5.8 months of inventory in Bryan right now. So we're getting more listings in. We need to have a big month to get some of those sold off. And the average list price is up about 8% from last year in August. And the average list price of Bryan is about 363,000, just a little bit less than that. The average sold price is 356,000. So not doing too bad, but definitely a slow month in August. So hopefully that'll pick up in September, and as we get past the election anyway. Now it's kind of the natural time when it slows down anyway, because the school year started. I think August, it seems like school started earlier than usual this year, so maybe people were tied up with getting kids to school and under school and then getting other kids to college. College Station did a little better last month. There were 152 houses that were sold. In August of last year, only 132. So we're up a little bit this year in College Station. We have 479 active homes, just a few more than Bryan has. 108 pending, just 2 more than Bryan has pending. We're at 96 days, average days on market, and a year ago it was 61. So we're up 50% on the days on market in College.
That's a dramatic difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. College Station has a little over 3 months, that 3.15 months of inventory. So that's more seller's market. Bryan's more balanced, at least according to last month's numbers. Average list price in College Station's $453,495, and the average sold price is $441. The sale price over last year is up about 10% in College Station for August year over year. And in 2023, we had 100. Yeah, I already talked about that. We have 132 that sold last year, compared to 152 this year. So College Station seems to be holding even. I feel badly that Bryan had a down month, but it happens that way in the market. There's up months and down months and good months and bad months. So yeah, so we're hearing stuff in the news. At the beginning of the year, we heard that rates were going to come down 3 times. Well, that didn't happen. And I've been hearing lately that there's going to be a drop in September. What do you think about that? What have you heard?
Oh, well, that's what the experts say. So like I said, I'm a little, I will be delighted when that happens. I think one thing that is important to keep in mind, there is a lot of pent up demand right now. So if you are watching this and you are thinking about, great, I'm just going to wait for those rates to drop. Here's the thing. That's what everybody else is saying too.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is when that rate drops and you jump back in there, so is everyone else. So my strong advice would be jump in now, because what's happening now is your offer is going to be competing against fewer offers, right? Fewer other offers, and you got sellers who are more willing to negotiate concessions.
Exactly.
So if the rates drop and we've got, double the amount of people competing for each house, well, guess what? That seller is going to be less willing to make concessions, and you're going to start to see, instead of them negotiating on price and maybe offering some credit towards closing, we're going to be back up in another environment where we're competing again. So I would, the rates dropping, don't wait for that. Do it now. Yeah. Do it now.
Absolutely. There's over 900 houses listed in our market right now in Bryan and College Station. Way less competition than you're going to have when the rates drop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is exactly right. And that competition, of course, is going to bring the houses I cannot talk today. The price of houses up again. It'll bring the market up when there's more competition. And like you say, back in during the pandemic, during those where people are getting 10, 20, 30 offers on a house, buyers were paying sellers closing costs instead of the other way around. They were paying for the title policy and other various things for the sellers. So, and now we've got this decoupling of the broker compensation. So that could come into question when the market competition ramps up.
Right, because that's the first time that's going to be a variable in this mix. So there's no reason to wait for a rate drop, because that is what everyone else is doing. So if you want the best chance of getting the house that you want on terms more amenable to you,
Yeah.
Get in there now, because there's such a thing as a seller paid buy down. There's concessions that sellers are willing to make now that they're not going to be as inclined to make when there's more offers on their property.
Right. Even just like repairs on the house, things that are wrong,
Mhm.
not even getting
Yep.
into extra stuff. But when it's super competitive like that, you just take it as it is and take the lumps where you get them. And if
Yep.
you have an FHA loan and it's something that FHA or VA won't accept, then you just miss out on that whole house altogether.
Yeah, exactly. Seize the day.
Yeah, exactly. And like everyone always says, marry the house and date the rate. I guess it's
Right,
I know
right.
rates may not be exactly what you want now. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to come down. We don't if it's going to come down. So you can always refinance later. I think the net cost of refinancing will be less than the net more that you spend on a house that you buy during the competition easily.
Exactly. And you're in the house you want. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully our election won't end the world either.
It never has before, but every time they'll tell you this is the most important election of our lifetime. So whether that is or not, that's what we're being told. So
it's true. Well, we made it through the last 4 years and there was an election back then. So we'll do it again. I feel like there's not a whole bunch to report. It's been just kind of quiet. I mean, got my head down working and doing the things, but we're in the lull after the big
kind
boom,
of the summer
big
rush.
drop.
Yeah.
Well, the August 17th, the NAR changes. That was a big bunch of effort working up to that, going to all these Zoom calls and learning about it, learning how to explain it to people, learning what forms we're supposed to use, that kind of thing. So now it's like, it's just kind of quiet. Anyway, all right, well, we'll watch what's going on and we'll be back in a couple of weeks to report if there's new stuff going on. We'll let you know as soon as the rates come down and if anything else exciting happens with the real estate world in Bryan College Station, Texas.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. Well, have a great day. We'll talk
You
soon.
too.
Bye-bye.